It's 7 o'clock, and I'm calling this 14th regular meeting of the 107th year of the PVUSD Governing Board to order. And I would appreciate if you would all rise. And Mrs. McMunn, will you please lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May we have roll call, please?
Mrs. Ventura.
Here.
Mrs. Greenberg.
Here.
Mrs. Bacon.
Here.
Mrs. Brown.
Here.
Mrs. Case.
Here.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is approval of agenda. Dr. Lee.
Thank you, President Greenberg. Items approved by consent will not come up for discussion during the meeting, but will be discussed during the meeting, but will be approved, when the agenda is adopted. This is possible since members of the governing board receive the agenda along with backup materials at least 24 hours prior to the meeting and have had time to review and consider all items. Prior to the agenda being adopted, members of the governing board or our audience may ask that an item be removed from the consent agenda and brought to the floor for discussion at the appropriate place on the agenda. I would like to offer the agenda as posted.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? Does any member of the board wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? Does any member of the audience wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? Okay, dodge that bullet. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We have our agenda. Next is governing board statements. Ms. Matura?
I just wanted to say I had the honor of attending the David Franks dedication, and there are lots of people in this room were there too. And I just think what Sunset Canyon did to honor him was just a fantastic celebration. And I really appreciated being able to be there and see that. So thank you.
Ms. Case, Mrs. Bacon? No. I just want to say I was also able to join the dedication at Sunset Canyon, and it was incredibly moving, but it was so David Franks that it was amazing. And I hope everyone has a chance to go visit the school and see how his spirit is imbued now in David Franks' way. And it was lovely. Next is awards and recognitions. I will turn it over to Dr. Lee.
Yes, Dr. Corson.
Good evening, President Greenberg, governing board members, Dr. Lee, members of cabinet, and attendees. Tonight, we have one employee recognition to share with you. Our recognition for this evening is the recipient of the Paradise Valley Education Association's Recognition of Professional Standards Award for Teachers. The honoree will be introduced by Ms. Susie Seep, PVEA President.
Thank you, President Greenberg, Superintendent Lee, Governing Board, and Cabinet. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight to celebrate the amazing Diana Ruby. She is the International Baccalaureate Coordinator at Quail Run Elementary and has taught in PV since 1988 entirely at Quail Run. She's taught first and third grades and now does apparently everything else. She was nominated by not one, not two, but by 8 of her colleagues, including her principal, Marta Maynard, her TOA, Vicki Raymond, and her colleagues, Ivy Violette, Amy Marcus, Amy Monaghan, Veronica Miller, Sarah Elkis, and Angie Albers. I don't have time to read it all. It was pages and pages. But among some of the things that were said were, besides her role of International Baccalaureate Coordinator, Diana wears a multitude of hats. She goes above and beyond to make our school run smoothly and to make sure our teachers' needs are being met. She has always gone above and beyond, but this year she's outdone herself. Diana managed tremendous tasks, all while giving her attention to her full-time job. There was nothing she was unwilling to help with. Quail Run would not be the same without her. She was here when the school opened, and she has inspired a loving, positive culture that we appreciate to this day. One recent example of Diana's great service was her commitment to coordinate our on-site program during distance learning. Diana organized learning spaces in the cafeteria and media center that were safely distanced, had materials and schedules for all students. This helped ESPs make sure that students were logging in to all their scheduled lessons, had all the materials that they needed to complete their work. She gathered donations of snacks and water bottles so that every student had access to whatever they needed. I cannot express the amount of passion that Diana has in her position through words, other than it is undoubtedly noticeable that she loves what she does and that she loves all of us. I know that there have been many, many days, especially this school year, that she has already given up her all to Quail Run, and her tank has had to have run low. However, you wouldn't know it. She shows up with a smile, encouraging words, and creates a space to just let you be. One of the things that I left out were the multitude of comments about the brownies that she bakes for her staff. And I've already invited myself to the next PLC day, so I will be able to report on those. Please join me in celebrating Diana Ruby. She is one of the people that makes Paradise Valley great, and I am so proud to be her colleague. She is here tonight with her husband.
Do you have anything to say?
Thank you very much. It was a great surprise today. They scared me when I walked into our office, but I appreciate it. I have greatly enjoyed working in this district and hope to be here a few more years yet. Thank you.
Well, do you want to introduce any family members?
Oh, this is my husband, Joe.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is call to the public. We have one card, Mark Novka. And while you're coming on up, I just want to remind you that you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
And because it's not on the agenda, we can't respond, but thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure what the protocol is, so thank you for the board and the president for allowing me to speak. And you went through the same exercise that all my teachers went through when I was going through school. So thank you for trying. But my main reason for being here is because, first of all, I've never been here to see anything that goes on here, but my children have gone through from Mercury Mine all the way through Shadow Mountain. And so I'm familiar with the school district, but never really participated. And now I'm finding I am interested in participating a little bit more in things that are kind of going on. So I'm curious about a few things, and I thought I would just ask some questions, and you may be able to give me some guidance as to where I might find additional information too. I would appreciate that. You have on the website, there's the Compass PV School Strategic Plan, and there's the Parental Rights Handbook. And I'm just wondering if those items are available in a kind of a print format that somebody would be able to get from the district. Or so you can actually pick it up. You don't have to go print off everything from the website.
Go ahead and finish, and then I can help you with your.
Okay. That's one thing. The next thing I have on my list is pertaining to the bond election that happened a couple of years ago. I'm wondering if there is any kind of follow-up information aside from the comprehensive report, which is quite long and ponderous. And I'm wondering if there's any kind of reporting that shows what has gone on with use of funds since the time has gone on and anticipated use of funds. And I'm kind of referring to this fact sheet, for what I guess you're planning on doing. Let me see. This sheet, by the way, is very good. This one pager. This has come out every March. That's a good thing to see. General rules are in the parent handbook, and I'm interested in knowing, and this may be a process that you address at an individual, I would see it at an individual school, but is there a process whereby the parents can engage a process to review books, learning materials, and curriculum initiatives that are being considered for introduction and for instruction prior to their use, particularly in areas of the strategic plan, civics, government, world history, American history, economics, and geography? Can parents come in and review materials that are going to be used, that their children are going to be instructed with?
Yes, I'm gonna let you finish. And I'm
Okay.
gonna just
Okay. Is that it?
So,
Okay.
Mark, if you have a lot of questions, and I think we have a lot of answers for you, and they're different topics. So, if you could call our office, just ask for the superintendent's office,
Okay.
call the main, and we will get you the information you need, hook you up with the people we need. And it sounds like you want to help us out, and we're always interested in that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next on the agenda is superintendent's comments.
Thank you, President Greenberg. I'd like to welcome you back to the start of the fourth quarter. I hope everyone had a relaxing and safe spring break. Our in-person learning numbers to start the quarter have increased slightly. Our elementary schools are up about 4% to 78%, and our middle schools are up about 5% to 71%, while our high school in-person percentage is up about 3% to approximately 47%. I'm pleased to announce that our COVID testing program is going extremely well. We have already tested 212 students, staff, and family members, with 5 students testing positive, along with 1 staff member and 6 family members. The week prior to spring breaks, prior to the break, and so far this week, our nurses have reported only 6 new students with positive COVID tests district-wide. As a result of the testing demand at our district testing facility, in-office DX has increased their days of operation from 3 days a week to 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And that's drive-through facilities just on the north side of this site. Many of our students are taking advantage of extended learning opportunities offered at their school this quarter, and our community education department has released enrollment information for our June learning opportunities, which include many of our traditional summer programs and some additional learning opportunities. You can get more information on all of those opportunities at pvschools.net/summer. Our high school students will also be able to enroll in a full free credit from PV Online, and you can get information on that through your school counselor. By the end of April, we will be providing more information about new additional learning opportunities in July. These new opportunities are being funded with COVID relief funds provided to all public schools at no cost to our families. In addition, now that vaccines have become available to anyone 16 or older, I want to encourage all of our families to register for a vaccine if possible. The more people who are vaccinated, the sooner we achieve herd immunity, the sooner we stomp out new variants that pose a risk to our community, and the sooner we can put this awful pandemic behind us. Also, in light of Governor Ducey's executive order relaxing COVID restrictions, the Arizona Department of Health and Human Services emergency measures are still in effect, requiring masks in all K-12 schools. And we will continue our strict enforcement of our mask mandate and other mitigation strategies to keep our students safe. And we also appreciate your continued support with that. In addition, the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards has released its state profiles, and I'm proud to announce that PV schools have made the top 5 of Arizona districts for the total number of National Board certified teachers and the number of current candidates. I would like to take a minute this evening to thank Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, Laura Felton, for her 24 years of service in her district. I've worked with Laura every year since I've been in the district, going back to when I was a director, an assistant superintendent, and superintendent. Her work has been so critical to the success of our district and the education that we provide our students. Laura is retiring from PV at the end of this month, and she will be missed by all of us. I'd like to wish her the best in her new endeavors, and can we please give her a hand? You didn't know I was going to do that tonight, did you, Laura? Could I ask Leah Knable and Michelle Courtwright to come up to the podium? Thank you. Since we were unable to physically recognize these 2 deserving ladies at the end of last school year due to the pandemic, for this evening's awards and recognition, I would like to present Leah Knable and Michelle Courtwright with the Superintendent's Distinguished Service Award in appreciation and recognition supporting staff and students of PV schools. Ms. Knable served as the president and ombudsman for the Paradise Valley Employees Association, and Ms. Courtwright served as the president of Paradise Valley Support Employee Association. I worked with both of them for several years, and they were instrumental in the student-centered culture we have in PV. And they were models for what a respectful, collaborative partnership looks like. It is a tremendous honor for me to present you both with the Superintendent's Distinguished Service Award. I like to hug people, and we're not supposed to do that, are we?
Thank you.
So we'll just pretend.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you'd like to say something.
Yes. I would like to say hi to my PVA family who's watching at home. Also, my new granddaughter, Caroline, and my 90-year-old grandma, Caroline, who are watching, as well as Clara, Brown, and Ryan, mom, family, everybody, staying safe at home. But thank you, Dr. Lee. It's been an honor to work with you all these years as well.
And I also want to say thank you to Dr. Lee and the board. It has been an honor to work with you guys for so many years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, I'm going to turn over to Dr. Bales.
Thank you, President Greenberg, Governing Board, Dr. Lee, Cabinet, and online guests. Tonight, we bring to you a recommendation for the position of Assistant Director of Community Education. Ms. Shannon McMunn has served PV schools as a teacher, a TOA, assistant principal, and principal. Shannon has a bachelor's degree from Arizona State University in elementary education and a master's degree from ASU in educational leadership. We recommend Shannon McMunn as Assistant Director of Community Education effective July 1st, 2021. If approved tonight, she would receive salary and benefits consistent with the Central Office Administrator's Agreement, and she is here tonight with some of her family clan.
Thank you for that recommendation, Dr. Bales. May we have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. And can you introduce that some of the family that's here?
Yeah, so first I'd like to say thank you, President Greenberg, Governing Board, Dr. Lee, Cabinet. I appreciate this incredible honor. I I'm so excited, and it's bittersweet because Cactus U has been my home for 7 years, and that's my family. But I'm so excited to start working with Natalie and the community ed family. So I appreciate this, and I cannot thank you enough. I have my husband here with me. I have my mom, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my one brother, my other brother. My sister-in-law is here, but the two kids that were running around in the back had to go outside. And then online, my dad is watching, my other brother is watching, my other sister-in-law, and my other nephews, and then of course friends and colleagues. So there's a lot of us in the family. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And next on the agenda, I will turn it over to Dr. Corson.
Good evening again, President Greenberg, members of the board, Dr. Lee, cabinet, and guests. Tonight is our second reading of the literature list recommended titles. Our ELA curriculum specialists and committee facilitators, Jamie Caldwell and Jen Young, are here to answer any additional questions you may have, and we are recommending approval this evening.
One of the questions that Dr. Corson I shared with you earlier was in regards to some of the books that reflect diversity. And we'd like to hear from you a little bit on what we hope to learn from those books and what goals we have in introducing those to our teachers.
So the Literature List Committee hopes to encourage appreciation of unique experiences, show students text-to-self connections, to allow students to identify with characters and events in the stories, to build empathy and perspective for other cultures and backgrounds, and to develop a culture that honors equity and diversity.
Good.
And would you like to share a few of the titles from that literature list that exemplify some of those ideas?
Sure.
Sure. One of the titles I was thinking of was, it's a title called Ghost, and the author's name is Jason Reynolds, and it cracks me up because it's not the PV Jason Reynolds, but I always take another glance at it. But it's about a family of an African-American family that have some trauma, and at the first chapter, they're running literally from an event, and they end up in a grocery store, and the manager, looks at them and they look like they've seen a ghost. And the next day, this boy's at school and he sees, the track team running. And the reason why I like this book so much is that I could just see our students really relating to it. So he challenges some boys on the track team on the other side of the fence, and the coach happens to be watching. And this kid just lickety-split, just blows him out of the water. And all through the book, it talks about the diversity and challenges that he's had from poverty. And he's trying to decide, what am I running from? Am I running from my future, or am I running from my past? And just the elements of it, I just know that our students are really going to be able to relate to it. And I know that's what our committee was really looking for. We want books that our students can relate to.
And the selection of these titles are really part of a work that we have been doing regarding equity. And, it's important for us that all students see themselves in the literature that they're reading, to be able to connect with experiences so that they not only have empathy for other people with whom they may be interacting or maybe not interacting, but they also are building varied perspectives. And we understand that it's important for our students and children to have a world perspective. And what better way to do that than to introduce them to literature from around the world that represents these many various viewpoints. So this really is part of an ongoing effort that we've had to include diverse titles. And I think that this is really one of the opportunities that we've had where we have really invested a significant amount of time in embedding so many different varied titles. I think it was around 66 different titles, if I'm not mistaken this time, that really represent either diverse authors or diverse characters or diverse storylines within them. And so we're really excited to continue that journey of identifying literature that's going to be meaningful for our students, as well as represent perspectives and varying ideas that expose them to different ways to integrate themselves within our society.
Thank you. Does anybody, Mrs. Brown?
Well said, Dr. Corson. I should have asked Dr. Lee this first. I know that the list is provided on the website, but I was talking to one of my fellow board members, and we were talking about the opportunity that may be available to list next to some of these books some of the what we liked, especially as it relates to equity and some diversity. So to highlight some of why, some of the differences, but I honestly should have asked if it's even, I don't even know how the list is listed on the website because we get our list separately. But I know that it would take up more space, but I just thought maybe it was an opportunity for people to really understand where we're coming from and the work that we're trying to do.
Yeah, Ms. Brown, we, as a credit to our facilitators, they've worked in creating an internal website for our teachers to access the list and to identify resources around these literature lists. And if we haven't identified next to the titles why or how they connect to important cultural diversity, we certainly will look at an opportunity to do that.
We also have a page on the website that's dedicated to just kind of the why we want to teach cultural diverse literature.
Yeah. And the last comment that I would make is really this is an ongoing process. We have committed to continuing this process each year to identify through our teachers and through our parent community additional titles to add to this list that not only expand the cultural diverse titles on the list, but other populations of students so that they can see themselves in the literature. So we're excited to continue that work.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else have any other questions? Mrs. Case?
I read through that list today, and I appreciate some of those titles coming to be available on that. Just explain to me, if it's on the list, it means the child can be tested. Is that what it means? That this is literature that they can use as an assigned book that they can be tested on. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's why it has to go through the process?
Right. So that this would be considered a required piece of literature that a teacher might require of their students. But even with that, with some of the sensitive titles, there's still opportunity for students to be able, and parents, to indicate that they don't want their child to read that particular piece of literature, in which case we would give an alternate assignment.
And that's listed, and that will be told from the teacher to the parents that we consider the sensitive, et cetera, and they could have a substitute.
That's correct, Ms. Case. We've built into a process now in which case a teacher is required to inform the parent prior to teaching that particular literary piece if it is in fact a sensitive title. So the parent has the option to opt out of that particular novel if they feel like it's inappropriate for their student or child.
Okay. I remember my daughter reading Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, and that changed her life from the perspective of understanding, and at a young age. And I also, when she was a child, I made sure she had teachers that were different than her, and it's made an impact on her entire life and how she reaches out. And it's really quite a phenomenal process when you go out of your way to have that happen. You said that it's an ongoing process. So do you go back to a parent group, committee group? How do you bring more books on?
Yeah, we'll continue to use our standard committee process, which includes teachers, administrators, and parents as part of that committee to vet each of these pieces of literature that are submitted either by our teachers or our parent community.
But they would go through the same process and be labeled according to however.
That's
whatever
correct.
grade level or whether it's sensitive or not or whatever.
That's correct.
But anytime you added to that list that you can be tested from, it goes through the same process.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, some of those books on there look quite amazing. So thank you very much.
It's really a credit to our teacher and the committee for that work.
Thank you very much, Dr. Carson. Does anybody else have any? Mrs. Bacon? No? Okay. This is second read, so I need a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is consideration approval of resolution number 495, and I will let Dr. Jarris tell us what that is.
Thank you, President Greenberg, Governing Board, and Dr. Lee. I bring to you for approval a memorandum of understanding with Teen Lifeline. We currently use Teen Lifeline for a variety of services, including providing information for crisis support on all of our high school ID badges. This memorandum will establish the Paradise Valley Unified School District as one of their official partners, which will allow them to communicate with us when they are serving our students through their hotline or text services. This is a great opportunity to add additional support for our students, and we recommend your approval.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Jarris or anyone else? May I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And last on our approval list is acceptance of gifts and donations. And as always, we appreciate every donation, and there was quite a long list, but we have some truly remarkable ones. The City of Phoenix donated $40,441 in nurse and student gowns and COVID-19 supplies to the district for use in our schools, as well as face masks and hand sanitizer, valued at more than $219,000. The Kids in Need Foundation donated Lysol disinfecting wipes and sticker kits worth more than $19,000 for our classrooms. The Maricopa County Health Department donated 55-gallon buckets of table disinfecting spray worth more than $2,000, as well as PPE nurses COVID-19 starter kits worth just under $16,000 for district use as well. Again, we thank all of our donors, but those were tremendously generous donations to receive. May I have a motion to approve the report?
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And we are, we've been in such long meetings, it's kind of like I'm having sticker shock here. We are on adjournment. Does anybody have any last, no? Anybody? Okay. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We're actually adjourned.